can start with you.
Okay.
We talked a little bit, what we're asking from Jim. By the way, have all of you met James Ward?
Yes, we have.
Okay, good. I figure you all know each other. You probably didn't know him though. So you all know each other, so we're ready to go.
Let's
There
do
we
it.
go.
All right, let's do it. All you gotta do is do a 180.
Testing.
That's smoothly done. I don't think I need a mic tonight, do I? No, I really don't. It's gonna be streamed, yeah.
Guys, guess what? We're talking.
Thank you for that
this,
advice. I appreciate it.
Tulare County Voices.
You keep doing that,
It's
keep
a
me on track, will you,
program
Catherine? 'Cause I don't know what to
With
do with that.
Visalia times Delta.
We
We
set
got
there,
Lauren
Maestro?
Fishback right there.
Good evening.
We got
Welcome
Ramirez.
to Tulare County
We got
Voices at
Brittany.
210.
We got James Ward.
I'm Paul Hurley, and they're going to hear my voice a few times tonight. Hopefully not as much as you're going to hear from the people behind me. Tulare County Voices at 210 is a monthly forum co-sponsored by the Visalia Times Delta and First Presbyterian Church, which owns this building. And we are always very grateful and appreciative and acknowledge the contribution of First Presbyterian Church to our forum. I'm going to turn around and sit down. Is that okay? Yeah. We have more people coming in, so don't look at them. Okay. Tulare County Voices at 210 is a monthly forum dedicated to exploration of topics of interest in our community. And our issue tonight is something that, well, I wasn't that familiar with before we started looking into this, and maybe not any of you, and I hope you're here to learn more about it. Influencers among us, the digital persuaders. Who knew that we have influencers right here in Visalia, in Tulare County? Yes, we do. And they are up there before you. And they're going to tell us what they do, why they do it, and maybe how you can do it too. As always, Tulare County Voices at 210 welcomes your questions and your contribution to the conversation. So please feel free to pepper this group with questions. Really interrogate them, will you? Because I told them I wouldn't. But raise your hand so we can get this microphone to you so we can make sure that you will be on camera too, just like the rest of us. Because this program is being live streamed on the First Presbyterian Church YouTube channel and on their Facebook page. And on the 210, Tulare County Voices at 210 Facebook page, I believe, too. So we're all over the place. It's a global show.
Love it.
So I'm going to start down with our influencer, quasi-influencer, down at the left. First of all, Lauren Fishback. Lauren is a public information officer and marketing professional for College of the Sequoias. Next to her, Nicolo Go, a.k.a. Walking Around, who specializes basically in exploring our community and letting people know more about it, I would say. Is that kind of a good assessment? You'll tell us more. But. Jennifer Ramirez, whom I have not met. It's nice to meet you,
Hello.
Jennifer. Yeah, it's a
Nice
delight.
to meet you.
It's better for you than it is for me, but she is a online merchant and designer, and she's got a really active Instagram page and Facebook page, actually. So you gotta check her out because it's very busy.
Thank you.
Next to her is Brittany Baca. She is a Tulare County realtor, And she uses her position as an influencer to let prospective residents for our fair community know more about it. So we hopefully they'll be attracted to it and want to move here, right? And maybe even buy a house through you.
Sure.
And finally, last but not, well, actually, yes, least, is James Ward of Gannett Corporation and formerly of many other publications, not the least of which is the Visalia Times Delta. I'm sure many of you know Jim was a longtime reporter, editor for the Times Delta, a film critic, teacher, media observer, and that's why he's on this panel. He's the only one up there who's not an influencer. So we're going to have to make sure that they don't turn on him. We're going to call on Jim from time to time to ask some questions, I guess, of an objective nature about our digitally communicating world. It's changing quite a bit, which is why there are such opportunities for influencers such as these folks to influence us. So, Lauren, can you lead us off by sort of explaining a little bit about who influencers are, what they do?
Okay, hello, can you guys hear me okay? Awesome, if you want to go to the next slide, and then one more slide. Perfect, that looks beautiful. Okay, that's me. We got slides. Not too many, we got like 11. Yeah, we kept it tight, yeah. Yeah. I heard about the 45 number slide, and we tried to keep it under 45. So this is a small description of what I do for College of the Sequoias. First, I want to just thank Paul, Melinda Morales. Thank you for having me. This is a really cool opportunity. It's been a really great challenge to be able to articulate what I do for a living, because it's something, after you've been doing it a while, it's hard to do. So I appreciate the challenge. And then I also want to thank all of these lovely people next to me. They're all incredible content creators in this digital space. They inspire me, and I'm just honored that they volunteered their time to be here tonight. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. Yeah. Yeah, of course. So what I do for College of Sequoias is I basically bring brand awareness to the college. I also cultivate campus culture, which is something we talk about a lot when it comes to colleges, right? Campus culture or organizational culture or company culture can be applicable to all sorts of different realms and professions. And one thing I do is I influence from behind the scenes. I'm not the face of the college. Our students are the face of our college. So what I do is have an opportunity to build brand awareness and campus culture by telling student stories and assisting the community or other students seeing themselves in those stories and maybe thinking about applying to College of Sequoias and pursuing similar dreams. I hope that makes sense. That's the tip of the iceberg. I also do marketing internally. These are things that you guys will never see. So for example, we have a student portal. That student portal is getting a whole makeover with a brand new set of software. It's my job to work with IT to basically sell it to everybody. We got to get everyone on board from the institutional side before we launch it to the student side. Does that make sense? And then, once we're on the student side, we're going to do a whole campaign on how those students will use the new portal. So, we have internal and we have external marketing.
The student portal.
Yes.
I presume that's what's going to introduce students to things like, the classes they can take, the faculty that they will be learning from, the different activities that they can engage in on campus.
Yep, exactly. You have to be a registered student with credentials, right? A login and a password to get into the student portal. You don't have access to that from the public standpoint, if that makes sense. So That's kind of what I do for College of Sequoias, just very briefly. So if you go to the next slide. Now we're going to go into the meat of the OG influencers, and I wanted to introduce them to you. You might remember them. So, and this is how I want to introduce the rest of the panel, kind of bringing it full circle. So our OG influencers, do you guys remember Michael Jordan? Right? Nike, I'm going to give this credit to my husband, Eric, over there. Hi, babe.
There'll be none of that.
We got to push the buttons for Paul just a little bit. But Nike was on their way out. They were not doing well financially. And they scouted out Michael Jordan, saw his talent. They knew he was up and coming in the NBA. He was about to get drafted. And they capitalized on partnering with him. And essentially, they made the Nike Jordans, right? Does that sound familiar? And we see that logo of him like jumping and like, that free fall air image of him, and it's on everything to this day.
They made a whole movie about that.
They had made a whole movie about it. That's why I brought it.
Mom, by the way.
Yep, it was all the mama. It's always the mama, right? So the next one we have is Martha Stewart. You guys know her. She was the original DIYer. And she has recreated herself so many different times. She started by hosting parties and catering parties to opening up shops and doing a monthly magazine and turned it into a show. And she made everyone, no matter their socioeconomic background, because let's face it, she was very fortunate and started with a lot of financial backing, everyone could make pie from home. And watch her on that show fold every piece of that pie crust all the way around the tin and made you want to do the same at your home as well. And she's reinvented herself again by partnering with Snoop Dogg, right? And maybe I think she got a facelift. I don't know. But she's another example. Third example is Oprah, right? The Oprah Effect. You guys remember her show, and she essentially did Oprah's favorite things. This was a huge claim to fame. Everyone wanted to go to this show and get a free car. But if you were on her show, your product was on her show, the Oprah Effect was strong, and your business blew up because Oprah influenced her audience to buy this product. And finally, Steve Jobs, we've got to give him some love. Who has an iPhone or a Mac computer or anything like that? Has anyone bought anything from Apple ever? Yes, there's a lot of us, right? So he has influenced this digital space from the iPhone to making a very sleek and modernized computer for you to have in your home or to travel with. And I wanted to give him a quick shout out as well. So this is how influencing started, and now influencing looks much different. I'm going to give you a very brief overview before we pass it to the next person. Now we can do something called geofencing. I do this with College of the Sequoias, and I wanted to explain this to you because this is how fast it's moving. Geofencing is an opportunity for us to pull zip codes, neighborhoods, your college education levels, and we can market directly to you. So if anyone has YouTube, sometimes you might see one of our commercials for COS on YouTube. What I do with that is I pulled all the zip codes for our feeder high schools. I didn't just pull the high schools. I pulled the In-N-Outs. I pulled the Dutch Bros. I pulled the Targets, the Walmarts. I pulled zip codes for all these spaces, including addresses. And I send them I have a company that I work with. It's called iHeartMedia. And they use this geography, right, data to assist us in targeting our market, right, which is maybe something like a 17 to 35-year-old. So we've gone from these lovely people who didn't have access to that type of data to now we can pull data like that and market directly to those people and get right on their phones immediately that they're in line scrolling somewhere at Dutch Bros. So that's a small example. Okay, I'm going to pass it to the next person. We'll go to the next slide. And does anyone have any questions? I know I talked about a lot of things very quickly. Okay. All right.
You don't have to. Okay, good. You gonna go next?
That's me.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Her on the screen.
Yeah, don't go in the.
So
don't
just
don't
a
go in the
quick-
order up there. We want to confuse them, so keep
Okay.
it that way. Yeah.
Okay, yes, I'll keep it short. So my name is Brittany Baca. I'm a local realtor, and I basically want you to see the beauty that is Tulare County. I do Fresno County and Kings, but not so much. My area is Tulare County. And I am not just inspiring people to buy a home here. I'm inspiring them. This is my goal. My goal is to inspire them to take a look and see the beauty, because we're always getting negative comments that are saying, oh, I hate Visalia, I hate Exeter, you know. And so what I did was I was like, I'm going to go find the beauty and I'm going to put it on my social media, and it's kind of turned into a brand for me. So that's what I do. Yeah, that's what I do.
So if you go to the next slide, we have a sample that I wanted you to touch on. I thought this would be helpful for you guys. Yeah.
Yes, so that is Instagram, and that's a video that I made, and it says, don't move to Visalia, California unless you love. And I put slides together. How do you say the word? Strewn them together.
B-roll.
Yeah, B-roll
Video
together,
footage.
and basically showed people what Tulare County and Visalia was all about. So Visalia is not just Visalia. Like, I go to Three Rivers all the time. I, go and drive the back roads in Exeter if I'm going to Porterville or Lindsay. Like, it's all a certain area to me. And what we put with it was to kind of touch bases on the influencing part of it. You can see on there that there was 9,295 interactions.
Yeah, we're not going to be able to see that, so you're going to have to read it for us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll read it to you.
Yeah.
So almost 9,300 interactions. So what that means is likes, comments, views, and saves. And shares, shares. So 1.5 shares is people sharing it to probably their story or their friend, which is creating more reach. And this certain video every single day goes up. Like, I think this view, where was it at? How many views was that at? 259,143. And I think today I looked at it and it was like 371,000.
Have viewed your page.
And this was like 2-3 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can play the video. We have
Yeah, I
it
was going to
pulled up.
ask. Could that
Yeah.
video roll, Brian?
It is.
Yeah, I'd go.
So that was it. And the
Do you guys want to watch it again? I know it goes really fast. These are short videos.
Run it again, Brian?
But sure. Do you want to read the
yes,
title?
yes, I'll read it to you. So don't move to Visalia, California unless you love charming homes, long back road drives, picnics by the river, local farmers markets, tree-lined streets, backyard get-togethers, big or small. So a lot of the comments on this I got was like, that is not Visalia. they're like, what river are you talking about? And some people are like, St. John's River? And I'm like, sure, go to Cutler Park, have a picnic. Like, you will find beauty if you're looking for it.
Were they disappointed there weren't enough cows?
I've started putting those in mine because those are a request.
They were a request?
Oh, I'm sorry. The manure smell is so strong. I'm like, yep, smells like money, they say.
Full disclosure.
Oh, goodness. Can we go to those comments? Is there a way? Yes. Okay, go all the way down. You'll see them and meth. Horribly hot summers. Great family parks like the Oval.
Oh,
The Oval is a nice park.
it is a nice park.
It is a nice.
That one is saying we're racist. Go ahead and keep going. That person is saying he's a personal injury attorney, so if you need him, he's on there. You can find him.
Follow that.
Let's see. Someone said, "Are we living in the same Visalia?" Someone posted gangs, and I replied, "I'm sorry, I don't have a guide for that." So yeah, I mean, a lot about meth, a lot about gangs, a lot about shootings. Mm-hmm. They said I should go video, Houston and the Oval, which all of those comments actually increased the algorithm and made this video go out to even more people. It's still getting comments to this day.
We were actually going to wait till we get to Jim Ward about the negative comments. I think he's got more experience, for one thing. And
can't wait.
I mean, we were talking about it just a little while ago. I mean, it's...
I did. A lot of people, I mean, the comments on there, how many were there? Like almost 400? I can't remember. Probably tooting my own horn. I don't know. Anyways, it's quite a few. It's in the hundreds. And yes, some people were like, I love living here. I came from LA. It's a much slower paced life. Things like that. And so I've started using some of these comments to create new videos for them because yes, sometimes people want to come here from the Bay Area. Sometimes they want to come from LA and live a slower paced life and look at some cows.
So the point is you use those comments.
I do.
To build the whole branding image. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Any
7,348.
If you have a question, can you raise your hand right now? Because we do want to
He
have
did
you
raise
on.
his hand.
We want to have you on the video. So.
Did you have any other questions? No, you wanted me to toot my own horn.
I think it's fine. Sorry.
We don't need to focus on the negative.
No, we don't.
But you're saying
Okay.
the negative has an algorithmic benefit.
Yes. So no matter what you post, there are going to be people that want to consume it. And like if any of you wanted to post yourself making sourdough or, I don't know, putting some DIY stuff together, there's going to be a consumer for that. And as long as your video is quality, people are going to engage.
Real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
The algorithm is
Jim, you got a mic there too, so
am I speaking into it?
yeah. You can take it out of the stand. That's an awkward way to.
The algorithm is agnostic. It doesn't care if comments are good or bad. It's just about engagement. So it's particularly amusing when people comment on a story. Who cares? Because you've spent time engaging with the story and actually posting something. You obviously cared. But yeah, the algorithm. If you take one thing away from this meeting, the algorithm is agnostic.
it doesn't care. Yeah. Where are we next? Brittany, anything more for you? No, you're good?
Okay.
Nicolo, you up?
Good evening, everybody.
How do you pronounce your name?
I just had this discussion earlier. It's Nicolo Go, but if you want to be Italian about it, you can Nicolo.
Okay, he'll answer to anything. That's good.
Yeah, you asked, Paul. You asked. So I have an Instagram. It's called Joaquin Around. It's also a Facebook, but my Facebook got hacked. It's one of the risks of being online. You know, somebody takes over it and starts asking people for money. So if you got a message from me on Messenger asking for $100, please don't send it. It's not me. I would prefer it in cash, actually. Tonight, at the end of the thing, we'll pass a hat around. So I'm a transplant from New Jersey. I know some of you here. And when I came over here, I was here to start a business with my family. And to my surprise, I also discovered the beauty of Visalia, of all of the things that Brittany talked about, but including, you know, the cow shit and and all of the other things that the negative comments came about. But I didn't see a lot of that, but it was told to me. So I actually started to make content as a way to combat that narrative, you know, because as I was meeting people and I'd be like, hey, what's to do here? What do I do if I want to take a class somewhere? There's COS. That's a lovely class. I've taken classes there. And if you want to go out for dinner, where do you go? I would get answers like, oh, we go to the Bay Area, we go to Paso Robles, we go to the Central Coast, or LA. And that's true, right? We all do that. That's also fun. But I think this place has its own kind of beauty, culture, art, and just lovely people. So I started to make content as a way to fight that narrative for myself at first. And that's where Joaquin Around, Joaquin spelled San Joaquin with the Joaquin. Some people actually holler at me down the street and say, Joaquin. And it's come to a point where I answer to it, because why correct them? You know, it's like, you know, that's what they think your name is. And actually, somebody approached me just a couple of months ago, and they're like, hey, my husband told me your name's not Joaquin. Why have you been lying to us this whole time? I'm like, listen, it's for the San Joaquin Valley. And she understood. She was just teasing me. So so in addition to my Instagram and my Facebook that talks about these things, I've done work for the Sequoia Symphony. Some of you know that. We did the musical Uplink, which was a series that was done right around the pandemic. And remember, live music was completely stopped at that point. So the symphony, who still had a budget, had to deploy that to their mission. So we did about 10 videos. All of them were very intimate concert films, things you wouldn't see in a normal video, because now the violinist was right here next to you. And you could see the bow and the dust that comes up from it. And we did a couple dance films that you can still watch on YouTube. You Can't Stop the Beat has almost, like 15,000 views, I think. You know, and I think the whole series for the Sequoia Symphony has over 20,000 views on it, which is about 5 seasons worth of views. Wow. Done in a year. So it was a fantastic investment. I'm blessed and honored that we were able to partner with them, me and my crew. It's not just me, by the way. It's like a crew of about 8 people. And when we did You Can't Stop the Beat, which you can still find on YouTube, so Google it. And you can find it on the Symphony website. Thank you for the plug, Donna.
Yeah. It's really fun. Yeah. I highly recommend it.
And there are 100 kids from all of the dance schools all around Visalia that are in it. So it was a fantastic community effort, and it gives me great joy to continue to watch it even now, because it's just so fun. So that's one of the projects that we worked on that I'm really proud of.
Did Joaquin?
Yes.
Does any of your video here
Yeah.
have any clips from your videos?
I think we're going to play the latest documentary that you mentioned that I
Yeah, yeah.
released a month and a half ago. There's a trailer.
Good, it's great.
You can also watch that on YouTube if you look up This Is Home and you look up Go Creative Group. So those two terms. And would you mind playing for that for us, sir? Here we go. Visalia, you are the fertile ground that feeds the world, that feeds me, and that feeds my family and my friends in this community. You've brought diversity, you've brought vividness and life through the people that I've met from this community, from all over the world. We've found home here, we've found family here, we've found goodness here, and most importantly, we've found a way to pursue a dream to be part of a hometown, a place we can all flourish and be nourished in return. So Visalia, thank you. Yeah, thank you for playing that. That's now out on YouTube since March. You can watch it. It's about a 28-minute documentary. It's basically Visalia in 4 meals and 4 conversations. And it goes from breakfast to dinner and a snack. You're like, who eats 4 times a day? Come on, snacks. But a very nice snack. We snacked at the Vintage Press.
There's
so.
a dozen or so people in that video, by the way, and I almost guarantee that you will know at least one of them.
Correct. Yeah, correct. So we actually made that right around pandemic also. And the reason we only recently released it is that was actually a pilot that we created for, at first it was going to be a PBS show, so we pitched it to Valley PBS. Sadly, the CEO at that time was fired. So she was our connection. She was the one that asked us to do a pilot. And when she was terribly deposed from her position, we had nowhere to go. So I actually pitched it to a few other networks and got some interest, and I'm going to continue to actually pitch it. So, but yeah, that's my thing. Look me up on Facebook or no, not Facebook. It's been hacked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Instagram for the moment, and then on YouTube.
Was your page hacked?
What's that?
Was your page hacked on Facebook? No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, TikTok also, but I don't really go on TikTok too often. By the way, we're gonna do a TikTok with all of you guys later on, if you'll indulge us. It's really fast though. Just you're gonna love it.
Can we talk about the Facebook hack? Do you have any idea how it happened, and how do you recover from that?
I wish I had a solution. I've emailed Meta, the parent company, about 4 times now, and I still haven't got an answer. How it happened is that some woman named Johanna Smith 2444. Anybody here? Apparently, she broke
Lauren.
yeah. She's very technical. She would know.
Yeah.
So whoever that person is, because they tell you, they're like, at Joanna Smith 24444 has broken the community guidelines or something to that effect, and that is why your account has been suspended. And I said to them, this Joanna Smith is obviously a parasite. That's not me, but they haven't gotten back to me yet. So I hope I find out.
So Meta is accusing you of breaking the rules.
Johanna Smith 2444.
The other user.
Yeah.
Which
Whoever
they
the hacker
confuse
is.
with you.
No,
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So
Yeah, we are. Jim, hold that thought, though, because I want to talk a little bit about hacking and degeneration of online videos and a little later, okay? Joaquin, are you resting? Are you resting your defense?
I rest my case.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
It was a great case. Anybody got any questions for Nicolo or Joaquin or both? You have one, Lauren? Okay. Jennifer.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Hi. Okay, so I am a fashion reseller and I have my own consignment business. So a few questions. How many of you guys know what consignment is? Oh, wow. I'm surprised. Okay, awesome. How many of you guys know what eBay is? eBay? What about Poshmark? Okay, well, I sell on both of those platforms, but I don't sell my own items. I sell clothing, handbags, shoes, accessories, skincare products for other influencers that live in LA on those two platforms. So I've had this business now. I started consigning back in 2021. I started reselling in 2020. At that time, I'd go to different thrift stores around LA. At the time, my boyfriend and I were living in LA. I'd go to different thrift stores and I'd seek out desirable brands, styles of clothing that I knew that would be a really good flip, a really good profit. So I started out doing that way, and then I switched to consignment when I moved back to Visalia a few years ago. I got in contact with a closet organizer. Her name's Straighten Up by Janelle, and she works with celebrities and influencers, and she totally revamps their closets, their kitchen pantries, their kids' rooms, anything in your house, she revamps it. And when it comes time to their closets, she will then refer me to their client. And if they're interested in selling their clothes with me, I go to their house and I pick up their clothing, handbags, shoes, etc. And I bring it home, go through it, whatever I think I'm able to sell or will flip for a really good profit, I will then photograph, list on eBay and Poshmark. And I've kind of made a business, or I have made a business of it. I now have about 20 clients, and most of them are influencers. Excuse me. Most of them are influencers, but they're bigger influencers with, hundreds of thousands of followers. One with a few million followers. And I seek out women's mid to luxury tier clothing items. And I seek out mid to luxury tier clothing items because it's going to be, I know that will be a really good profit for us in the end. I'm not going to, nothing against like these brands, but I'm not going to flip something from Target and it sell for $10 on Poshmark. Poshmark takes a 20% percentage, and then after platform fees, I receive 60% of the profits, and my client receives 40%. And at the end of the day, they'd probably receive $2, and I'd receive a little bit more than that if I were to flip brands like that, if that makes sense. So I try to aim for really good brands, really popular brands with women, any age from 20 to 40 years old. And yeah. Did I forget anything?
No. Is there another little maybe video of you pitching on? Because I'd like to see you again.
Yeah, so I have a few videos linked here. So my content that I create on TikTok and Instagram, mainly on TikTok, I am trying to influence other resellers. There's a really, really big reseller community out there. People can resell furniture, hard goods, clothing, kids' clothing. Like, you can literally resell anything, and people will buy it eventually. And so I'm trying to influence other resellers. I'm trying to influence people to possibly consign with me if they have the right clothing I'm interested in. I'm trying to influence them to sell their own clothing on Poshmark and eBay so they can make a little money too. And so I have a few videos linked.
Here we go. Go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead and run them. I want to see.
Here's everything that sold for me as a full-time mid-to-luxury interior designer reseller that has her own consignment business. I have about 15 items to ship out today, and that's about 2.5 days worth of sales. I haven't shipped since Monday, and today is Thursday. I like to bring my labels with me to my storage unit and then write what I need to grab on the back of them just so I can visually see what I need to pull and I don't have to check my phone every 5 seconds. Let's grab these orders. A few of the orders that I need to ship out today are already at my house, so we're grabbing about 10 that are here. And then we'll head home and I'll go over what's sold and for how much.
It's fun to watch somebody work, isn't it?
I did not have any
When
eBay
you're not
sales.
doing the work?
Actually, one of these is an eBay sale, so I'll share that one first, but the rest are Poshmark sales. Poshmark is definitely my most popular platform that I do sell on, and I would definitely say it's the easiest platform to list items onto as well. Men's Nike long sleeve pullover. I've had this for quite a while, so I sent out a $25 offer on it, and the buyer accepted. The rest of the items will be Poshmark sales. I've had this Galameets Glam dress forever, probably maybe like 3 or 4 years. This brand used to be really desirable because it is discontinued. It's no longer manufactured. I used to get really excited when I'd find it, but I probably wouldn't pick this brand up again. Maybe if I found it at a thrift store for under $7, I would. It was one of those brands that had a really big following. This dress sold for $50. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce this brand. I think it's called AXA, and it's a really expensive brand. The tag looks like this. A little linen sarong, and this sold for $40. This is a tube top by the brand Donnie. I've had this piece for longer than expected. I thought it'd sell a little faster because it is a desirable brand, but I think I just had it priced a little too high. This is by the brand Magnolia Pearl, and it is a polka dot duster cardigan kimono thingy, and it sold for $250. These are a pair of pants by the brand Maeve by Anthropologie, and they sold for $100, which was very surprising to me because this brand normally doesn't sell that high for me.
Those pants?
Trench coats are still selling for me. This is a newly listed item, and it sold pretty fast. It's by the brand L'Academy, and it sold for $175. Here's everything that sold for me is a full-time mid-luxury interior designer reseller that has her... Okay.
Did you make that just for tonight?
Oh, no. These are videos I had posted on my TikTok
Oh, okay.
already.
Because I hadn't seen that one yet. So.
Yeah. So...
I tell you what, though, I love your energy when you're selling this stuff.
Oh, thank you.
In your videos.
I
Really do.
appreciate it. Thank you so much. I try to have good, upbeat energy. So I like to create content. This is like a what sold video. And other resellers and non-resellers really enjoy watching these types of videos because they like to see, one, how much items sell for. They might own these brands too. And it's good to share what these items could possibly flip for. So that's why I like to do what sold videos. It also educates other resellers what brands to be on the lookout for if they're out thrifting, if they go to another consignment store and they source that way. There's so many different ways to source clothing. And then these next two videos are an example of what it looks like to do a brand deal. So a lot of influencers do brand deals. Some influencers make a lot of money doing brand deals. I'm talking like $100,000s of dollars. I didn't make that. A brand deal, so say that I did a brand deal with Pepsi. This would never happen, but I'm just saying, if I did a brand deal with Pepsi, they'd pay me $500,000 and I would be in a Pepsi video. So it's like a trade. I do content for them and they pay me a certain amount of money. And so these next two videos are two brand deals I did with a software called Prime Lister. It's a software that I use every single day. I use it to cross list onto eBay. I use it to share my closet because sharing your closet on Poshmark is probably the number one thing I recommend to make sales. And it relists, it delists for me. It does so many things for me that I don't manually have to do myself. So I did a brand deal with them, and these are what these next two videos are. Livelihood. This is how I pay my bills. I have a clothing consignment business, so I also need to ensure that my clients' clothing is getting traction and selling every single day. Something that helps me reach my daily sales goal, and honestly something I would not be able to run my business without, is Prime Lister's automation tool. Convenience is a really big thing for me. I'm always on the go. I don't always want to bring my laptop with me everywhere, but something I do always have with me is my phone. Prime Lister has an app that is very user-friendly, and I can actually share my closet, I can relist, and I can send out offers from my phone. Having an automation tool is basically like having a virtual assistant. It shares your closet up to 9,000 times a day. It sends out offers to likers. I make sure I send out an offer to a liker 1 minute after they like the item, and then I send them an offer of 15% off with discounted shipping. I think sending offers to likers to a potential buyer is very important because it's letting the potential buyer know that you're open to other offers. Most of the time, at least for me, they end up accepting the offer my Prime lister sends out to them. Those are just a few things to help me make everyday sales. This automation tool is very affordable. I pay $25 a month. The best thing is I'm making that $25 back in one sale. They do offer a 2-week free trial, so if you guys want to try that out, the link is in my bio. If you guys do try it, I hope you guys love it as much as I do. And if you have any questions, please leave them down below.
I'm reminded of that of a dickering with a merchant in an open air market someplace. But this is digital. I mean, this is all online.
Yes, it's all online. Did you have a question, sir?
I'm really curious. This seems like a difficult job, and it seems like you must put a lot of hours into it. And I'm kind of wondering, what do you think the lifespan of this job would be for you?
Great
and
question.
Possibly others, because you're doing a lot of work to make this thing roll. How many hours a week do you work on this?
Great question. It's a lot of work. It's a job though that you can do a lot of batch work. So there's times where I'm at nighttime, we're watching a TV show, and I'm sitting on the couch chilling, and I can just list from my phone. So it is a lot of work, but at the same time, it's very flexible. The lifespan of this, I like that you asked that question because I asked myself the same thing.
Don't worry, we all do.
Poshmark could shut down tomorrow for whatever reason, and I'm out of that job. But I just kind of have to go with the flow, and this is really what I love doing at the moment, and I have really amazing clients. I drive to LA 1 to 2 times a month to go pick up from my consignment clients, and God willing, they can sign with me for many years ahead. But yeah, that's a great question, and I'm just kind of going with the flow right now, and hopefully none of these reseller platforms go away anytime soon. I do have a website that people will be able to purchase my items that I sell. It's just not live yet. So eventually that's where I will direct everyone to go to purchase the items that I sell. But yes, it is a lot of work, but it's work that I really love doing.
Je-
Question meant for all of you, if you wanted to respond to it.
let's just.
I think that, with Jen, this platform, this business is going to evolve over time. Like, it's not going to go away. It's just going to get bigger, and there's going to be a new platform someday instead of Poshmark. Like, eBay is no longer like the number one selling platform. I guess that's what you would call it. So we're just going to continue to see that. Maybe even one day Instagram is going to evolve, and it's going to be something different.
Oh, it's no question.
Yeah, people sell.
I mean, look what's
clothes
happening
on
to Facebook.
Yeah. Just one thing I like to add: people do sell clothing on Instagram too. So I have specifically a reseller Instagram, and then I have a personal Instagram. And on my reseller Instagram, it's a huge reseller community, and people don't sell clothes on Poshmark and eBay. They go to Instagram and they sell it on Instagram Live, and they sell it on Instagram Stories. So, Instagram intertwines with that as well.
Yeah.
Exactly, and that's why people do it.
And I was going to add on to your question. It's the same thing with being a restaurant owner. Have you ever known anyone to own a restaurant or a coffee shop, or if you were in a job for 30 years, right? I'm sure there's a point where you reflect and you're like, okay, I'm hitting year 10 in my accounting job. Am I going to keep going? Oh gosh, I'm hitting year 20. Am I going to keep going? Now, granted, when you're working for a big company, maybe there's some perks like benefits or 401k that's keeping you there. But what's lovely about Jen's job is she gets to go to the gym at 9:30 in the morning. And then she can go, if she wants to, maybe have lunch with a client at 1:30 in the afternoon. And her digital space continues to work for her. So although, to your point, it feels like, how do you keep going? I think that question is also applicable to any industry, any job, even being a parent. Like, how do I keep going, right?
Yeah,
Just want to get my kids out of the house, right?
Yeah, there's no end to that one, by the way.
Yeah.
Jen, how do you produce? You're a one-woman show, so
Yes.
how do you produce these videos? You set up your
Yes.
your iPhone and just shoot yourself
Yes,
doing
sir.
that and
So-
edit it, etc.
I have a
Okay.
tripod. I have a hand.
Yeah.
And I
That's good. You got two of them, in fact,
I have
don't you?
2 hands.
Yeah, that's great.
I do it all myself.
Very handy. How about Nicolo and Brittany? How do you produce your material? I know you had some help with people filming you, et cetera.
The stuff that I do for Joaquin around is primarily just on the powerful iPhone and a tripod, and like Jen, my hand also. And so these are the most powerful tools that we have as creators, like our voice, our hand, our eyes, because we're able to observe what other people are doing.
Did you not have somebody shooting you during that video that you showed us?
Yes, that was a much bigger project. So I do those also. So that one, I'll get a whole crew. So that project, This Is Home project, we had a crew of about 6 for that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brittany, how about your content?
I do it all myself. So
Do it all yourself. Okay.
Are you guys saying you do it with your hand? Like your hand? Okay, okay.
Do you also do that?
Yes, with my hand. But I also struggle. I struggle to figure out how to sprinkle myself in. And, to like video me walking down the street, I tell my lovely husband, I'm like, hey, I need you to do that. And he's like, that background is hideous. And I'm like, no, it's not. So, I mean, I do that, and maybe one day that will evolve, and I'll have someone that will, take B-roll. That's what we call it, B-roll for me, because then I layer on words on top of it. So it's not me talking into the camera like Jen. I don't do that. I don't do the voiceover. But yeah, I would like to sprinkle myself in there more. I just have trouble figuring out. I don't have enough hands, and they're not long enough.
we need to ask you, each of you, how you make money. Now I know yours directly, yours is sort of indirectly, and Joaquin, I'm not sure about you. So, how do you make money, and how much are you make enough to live on? Certainly, Jen. Yeah.
Yes.
Start with you.
Yes. I make enough to live for sure. So I make money obviously through sales. Poshmark, I sell on Poshmark, I sell on eBay, and sometimes I sell on Instagram. If I have friends or family, I always have them pay me directly, and I give them a discount, whole thing. And this is a screenshot of what I made from, is it June? June 2024 to May 2025.
Your fiscal year, kind of.
So this is net,
Yeah.
but with this number, that's not all going to me. Obviously, I put a money aside for taxes. I pay out my consignment clients. Remember, they get 40%. And yeah, I believe this is after platform fees.
Okay.
So I make enough money on those selling on those platforms to, pay everyday bills, to survive, to live.
Good. I
And-
appreciate you sharing that with us, by the way.
Yeah, of
We're not the
course.
IRS, by the
Yeah.
way, so you're okay.
And then there, like the videos you guys saw before, the brand deals, that company paid me. It's not a ton compared to what some other influencers make, but they paid me $100 per video to make for them, which I really appreciated, and it's really helpful to me. So yeah, that's how
Okay.
I make money.
Joaquin, how about you? How do you make money out of your influencing?
I contact you on Facebook Messenger and I ask for money. I'm sorry. No, that's not me. That's some other guy. So when I make projects for the symphony, for example, or Bank of
Okay.
the
You got
Bank of
clients
the
like that,
Sierra, California Grown. So I do corporate jobs. Sometimes it's corporate ID. So if somebody on their website, for example, wanted a video that explains what their job does, they're called explainer videos or brand videos. So I create those for them. So I usually am the producer on them. I also write on them. So I come up with the concepts and then I bring a team together to execute it, which usually involves people that do camera work, grip work, editing work, and then that's how I primarily make a living.
Good. And Brittany, we know that you're selling yourself in the area.
Yeah.
So they're not really directly getting your income from influencing, but it's derived from that, correct?
Well, I think the ultimate goal for me is to have more people on Instagram reaching out to me to ask questions about, their life events or what they want to do with their home, and then capturing clients that way. Really capturing their trust. I want them to get to know me. I want them to like me. And then that also makes it to where I'm working with the people that I will work well with, because they're going to be attracted to me because they see something inside of me that's in them. Just this last week, I got a listing through Instagram. And like, that's something that I would have never had I not. And that return on investment, like, I'm really not putting a lot of money into this. It's just my time. And when I'm out looking at a tree that I think is blowing in the wind beautifully, I capture it and put some words on it, So, but yes, I mean, I'm a full-time realtor. And a lot of people know me already, so I have business that way. But ultimately, my goal is to capture more people through Instagram.
What do influencers make overall? What's the top? What have you heard is the most, I don't know.
There's so
Any of
many
you?
different type of influencers.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm kind of getting at. Yeah. And I've heard the terms of, micro, nano, macro.
macro
Major,
influencers.
whatever.
I got a good one.
Okay.
There's this guy.
There's this guy.
There's this guy. He got out of prison and started recording himself. I was just having a conversation with a neighborhood friend, and this guy's all tatted up, and he's just like recording himself working out. Well, he made so much money influencing that he had a $5 million car paid cash. Like, influencers are making buku dollars.
Yeah, like
I'm sure they are, but I don't believe that story for a minute, by the way. But
you just have to be good looking, and women will literally. There's been videos of like tatted men in jail with phones doing TikToks. Like, they do TikTok dances. They sit there and talk to the camera, and there's women in the comments being like, saying so many different things about, how they want them and stuff. And people engage with their content, and as long, like Kim said, you're engaging with their content, good or bad, they're monetized. They're making money off of that.
So
Yeah.
You have to be
Jim,
monetized.
did you-
I can help try to answer that question a little bit. So, for example, I'm going to use. Have you guys ever heard? I'm going to give some samples. You guys tell me yes or no, and then I'll try to explain. Have you heard of Rachel Hollis? No. Okay, I know, right? Have you heard? Did anyone watch Full House?
Yeah.
Back in the day. So there was Aunt Lori and Uncle Jesse.
Yep.
Does that sound familiar? Yeah. So Lori, or what, I forgot her. Is it? I don't know. I think her real name is Lori. Her. I don't know the act. I don't know her stage. Anyway, she has the daughters where her and the husband helped get them into and stage some equestrian stuff to help them get into Ivy League school. she's married to Massimo, whoever, he's a designer. Does that story, it made big headlines. They went to jail, like the whole thing. Okay, let me tell you about her daughter, okay? The daughter is a YouTube star, okay? She is extremely well known. And what that means is she started making videos just like all of these lovely panelists. And people started watching, engaging, liking, sharing. Her YouTube channel was so popular and so many people were viewing it. And we're talking in the millions, hundreds of millions of people. Brands would approach her and say, hey, Lori Laughlin's daughter, we want to partner with you, and you're going to get on your camera and say, L'Oreal Paris is my favorite moisturizer with SPF 50. I use it in the summer and blah, blah, blah. L'Oreal has offered a contract. This is all contract work. Well, some of it isn't, but this is a large scale example. It's a legal contract that she signs as the talent, right? And L'Oreal signs as the brand, that they have agreed to pay her $1.5 million to make them commercials and present the information, loop it into her normal YouTube video that hundreds of millions of followers watch. Suddenly, L'Oreal's sale for the tinted SPF 50 moisturizer skyrockets because she's now the face, right, of L'Oreal SPF 50, whatever. Does that make sense?
What?
I cannot speak to that example.
No, she's not kidding. There are those sites out there.
Well,
I just read
there
a story
are.
yesterday about
Yeah.
young men who are trying to sculpt their bodies in a way that is appealing to online observers, and they can rack up millions of viewers, followers in days. Days.
Yeah, more
Jim?
generally, I think we can kind of identify some income streams. So all of the platforms have a way to monetize based on views.
Yeah.
So YouTube, TikTok, even Instagram and Facebook, and it may be different levels. So maybe on YouTube, you might need 100,000 subscribers, and then your videos start to get monetized based on views. Maybe it's a few cents per person, but if you've got 1 million views on it and you've got, let's say 2 cents, per million, that's what, $20,000, let's say.
Yeah.
So other platforms will have a similar type of payout. Another way is what
Excuse me, but just so that I can
Yeah.
clarify for myself and maybe others. So in that case,
Yes.
YouTube
Yes.
is cutting
Yes.
a check.
Yep. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Just
one way.
because YouTube wants eyeballs.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And those commercials that run before the video? That's why YouTube wants content, because
Right.
they're making money on the companies that are selling buying the airtime.
And they can
Yeah.
they can guarantee an audience.
But that's why I make commercials that are 5 seconds, so you can't skip.
Jim, did you have some? I know you had your hand up before you wanted to.
Yeah, some of what was shared was I wanted to share. But the key is, you ever wonder if any of you have teenage nephews or sons or everything, this trend of watching, going on YouTube and watching kids play video games. Yeah. It's annoying and it's crazy, but my nephews watch people play video games, and they watch it for hours. But every once in a while, the video pauses and there's a movie trailer, the next movie coming in, or the next video game, or Mountain Dew, or pizza, and these kids, these people who are playing video games get monetized by that. They get money from YouTube because they're selling. Basically, it's TV commercials. Just
And they
think of
want
it.
Mountain Dew now.
Yeah.
Jim, how much do you think these influencers have taken over the role of traditional advertisers in the past?
No.
They used to advertise on radio or television, et cetera.
Influencers, like advertisers, have always tried to get a personal relationship with their customers.
Their
I
customers.
mean,
Their prospective
Yeah,
customer.
I mean, it's gone back for years. But with traditional advertising, both display advertising in newspapers and TV commercials, it's a shotgun effect. You used to buy an ad in the newspaper, and you have a shotgun effect. It's a broad audience, and you're trying to catch as many people for a Macy's ad, or Lynx Menwear, if we want to go Visalia, or Brown Shoes. Today, with geofencing and Google algorithms, you can target zip codes, people with your advertising. If Brown Shoe today, in theory, if someone in Visalia is searching for shoes and they Google shoes, Brown Shoes could go with Google advertising, and all of a sudden Brown Shoes is going to pop up on their search engine, and you can go to Brown Shoes to buy those things. Before, they had to use this shotgun effect with buying a display ad in the newspaper, and it's more surgical and a lot more scientific now with your advertising. So that's the main reason advertising and newspapers and television and radio advertising has changed so much.
Let's take the next step of influencers and how they promote, sell, etc. ideas, politics.
So this is
Yeah.
a hard one for me to answer.
I know you
So-
don't directly do that, but
yeah, and I don't directly do that, and I can't speak for anybody else. But I think you should do a forum on that topic because that's and you should have maybe some local politicians join you for that conversation. But for me, I don't know if I can exactly answer that from a technical level because I just don't work in it.
do one just on politics. Yeah, I know.
I mean, just to speak on it on a broad sense, I mean,
ahead.
it's vitally important in the way our world works now, simply because it has democratized how we get information. Like it no longer has to come from CNN, CBS News, ABC News. Basically, our news comes from everywhere, and we know some kind of major channels, whether it's like, Joe Rogan or Don Lemon or I forget her name now. All of these different people that fall under like an influencer, but are also, we'll call them amateur journalists because they also produce news themselves. So I think it's vitally important, and I'm sure all of us watch a variety of different influencers on the news. Yeah, yes, sir.
Wait a second. Who's got the microphone?
That
Remember to wait for the mic, please.
How much of influence do podcasts have on radio? And then the podcasts, it seems to me, are taking over. I think podcasts have taken over radio, and also podcasts, politics and point of views influencing, and they have advertising, right? No,
Yeah.
Is that
Podcasts
are
are
really
huge now.
huge to me. Anyway, is that what you think?
Yeah, I can say that that's all I listen to is podcast now. I'm rarely on the radio.
Murder podcast.
Murder podcasts.
Dateline.
Yeah.
Crime junkies. But yes, so like the podcasts that I listen to, I go in and I find them, certain ones that have subjects that I want to hear about because I want them to influence me. I want to learn from them. I want to, broaden my horizons or maybe learn something that I don't know. So that's why I go to podcasts.
I'll ask my question again. The problem that I have with some of these Looney Tune influencers that are out there that are casting out information but not being held accountable. When the newspaper does it, I can sue them. But what restraints are there on those individuals that are putting out information wrong?
So their information that they're putting out there, usually will get flagged. Those videos will be taken down. You might have seen them beforehand. A lot of people do, right? Like, we're just waiting for it sometimes. Certain people are anyways. I don't, but it gets flagged. It gets taken down. A lot of the, gosh, I don't even know what could be a good, I had it in my mind and I already forgot it.
Good one.
Anyways, that's the only way. Otherwise, you're in small claims court because who knows?
I'll give you an example that just happened today. Jamie Lee Curtis just settled a complaint. She didn't have a chance to sue Meta because someone had put up an ad. I forget who it was, but had put up an ad using AI to have her image and her voice. Yes, and her voice to promote a product of some kind. Now, it took her, as you note, it took her a while to register her complaint with Meta, first of all, and then even longer to get them to take it down. In the meantime, tens of thousands of people had already seen it. Yeah, or more.
And that's why I just wanted to say that's why education is so important and the teaching of critical thinking.
Let me bring it back, though, to the blue check mark that you see on Instagram. You see people's names and then that blue check mark. That is insurance. We have that so that our profiles, if they were to get hacked or something like that, it'd be much easier to retrieve them, and anything that's put on that profile will be taken down immediately.
By whom?
Instagram gods.
Instagram,
I have no
which ultimately
idea.
is Meta. Meta owns Instagram.
No idea.
So
But yeah, that was my question: is who does the flagging?
Mark Zuckerberg.
yeah,
If you need a name, I will just say Mark
But-
Zuckerberg.
that's who Jamie Lee Curtis was calling.
There you go.
The flagging is now done by community members. So if someone flags a video, because the Meta did away with their fact checkers just
Yeah.
recently. So if enough people in the community flag this as objectionable in any kind of way, in theory it will be removed, but I have less faith than the other panelists on the efficacy of Meta doing the right thing, because Meta wants engagement. They want people to be on their forums, their Facebook, Instagram, all the WhatsApp, as much as possible. So they want as much content on there as possible. So they're not going to remove it. So I think it's buyer beware for all media. Take everything you see with a grain of salt, because you need to be the person who said about education, critical judgment. That is key, because you have no idea if an influencer. Most influencers will not say, Estee Lauder. Often influencers don't say that. Hey, I'm being paid by Estee Lauder to push this product. So you might not know. Now, a lot of influencers are ethical, and they'll clearly say, I've been paid by this product, or a travel writer got a luxury vacation to some hotel, and their influencer video says how great this hotel is. They will say at the end of the video, they've paid for my stay. So, but buyer beware.
The information has never been pure as the driven snow. Anybody ever heard of yellow journalism? During the Civil War in Visalia, there were two newspapers, one Union sympathizer, one Confederate sympathizer. I bet they weren't exactly in agreement on their facts.
Yeah, actually,
And
one of
currently-
the editors killed the other editor. So you're right.
And currently, virtually half of the income of the corporate media, I'm talking TV, newscasters, half of their money comes from pharmaceutical ads. There are only 2 countries in the world that allow pharmaceutical ads direct to consumer. The TV networks get half their money from Big Pharma, Do you think they're impartial about certain things?
What's the other country?
And I'm so glad you mentioned that, because I think it's something that we often forget, that we are being influenced every single day. And it is your job as a human being to critical think and determine what aligns with your core values on a regular basis. And if there's something that you see that doesn't, you should not follow them, right? Or not engage with them, whatever it is. But every day, do you guys have browsers at home? Do you go to Google or Safari? You open that up and you maybe see some news headlines, right? Before you start your search to whatever. There's an algorithm there too. So let's say you see a headline that's interesting to you. Safari and Google and all those search engines, they notice that you clicked. And guess what? They send you more stories with similar topics or similar writers or whatever the next time you open your browser. So it happens more often than I think any of us would want to admit. But again, you have an opportunity to decide to engage or not engage.
How
And
much?
From what I can see here, most of the people here are humans, and we're subject to cognitive bias.
There you go.
If we see something that agrees with what we already believe, we give it credit. If it disagrees with what we already believe, we think, discount it. The protection from cognitive bias is to consume media from different sources that disagree and compare.
At this point, how much has AI crept into influencing, do you think? Influencers
I
and
use
others.
it
What do you
almost
think?
every day.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Think
something.
all the time?
Yeah, we're on like ChatGPT. I ask it questions all the time. Like, what should I say at this forum?
Okay.
All the things I've said today, all of the things I said today were given to me. I joke, but
No
you
wonder
know,
you've got two names. Jim, you explained to me about how you create content for the newspapers at times using AI.
Sure.
I mean, it's a form of influencing, even though it's
Yeah.
Gannett
We
Corporation. Trust them.
we have Gannett has subscribed to a video creating algorithm called Watch It, and let's say if I'm editing a story about subsidence in the Central Valley, I can craft an algorithm or a prompt to Watch It AI and say, create a 6-scene video about subsidence in the San Joaquin Valley, prioritize video, use AP style, end with a quote from a Tulare County farmer. And in about 4 to 5 minutes, I will have a 16 video picked with video clips from around the valley that have been fed into, from various sources, with text about subsidence, and that will end with a story with a quote from a farmer. All this video and photos are copyrighted for use for Gannett. For specifically
Yeah.
Gannett, we subscribe to. It's Reuters. Well, we don't subscribe to AP anymore. We used to.
You can instruct AI to only use open source material.
Right. You could say library from the Congress. This is not about influencing, but Gannett now has Microsoft Copilot. And let's say if you miss a meeting, a digital meeting, online meeting, you can go back and ask Copilot to summarize the meeting that you missed, and it's very good. We've experimented with it. So if I miss a news meeting and it's recorded, and now everything basically is recorded, you can go back and ask Copilot to summarize the meeting, and it'll summarize the meeting. So people who like to go to meetings love Copilot.
I told you not to tell Lauren about that, by the way.
Copilot writes my emails
Is
at
it-
work.
okay. Question back there?
Oh, so just a comment about search engines, and if you use Google, you get a lot of information. They take your information, and But there are search engines that you can minimize that, and DuckDuckGo or GoGoDuck is one, and Firefox. You should never use Google. I mean, it's just, it's terrible.
Okay, about
Real quick, I wanted to mention I was amused when Oprah and all the influencers from the early 20th century were up, because from a historical point of view, I just want to make everyone know this is not new, and it's just digital, and now it's very focused. But 100 years ago, everyone, a lot of females got a Lillian Gish haircut because she had this famous haircut in the silent movie star. Why do we still drink Shirley Temples?
Yeah, that's so true.
So this is nothing new. We've always had influencers, but now we can use technology to laser focus how we influence people.
okay. So where is influencing going? How will it develop? Where's it going? What's next? 5 years, 10 years, 100 years?
I think as it stands now, I think everybody has an opportunity to leverage it. I think that's the other part of this, is that everybody in this room, and you don't even have to think of it from a monetary or a professional type of reward to yourself, but maybe you have something to express. You love to paint watercolors, and instead of just you and your beloved that's sitting next to you enjoy it, and maybe your grandkids don't even like it, and your kids hate it, but maybe somebody, a community of people that love watercolors of leaves. So that's really, I think, the next level, is that each and every one of us will have a channel. It's going to be much more easy for us to all engage in not even calling it influencing, really publishing. Whatever your interests are and your ability to influence, yes, those will have some technical aspects. Like, is that person charming on camera? Do they have something that's informative to give? Is it educational or entertaining? And I think those are going to, have a different type of value in terms of your ability to monetize it. But I think from the get-go, if you have a Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok, share the things that you love or like or enjoy in your life. And, really you're influencing people, right?
Jen?
Oh, I was just going to ask the audience, how many of you guys have TikTok or Instagram?
Or Facebook.
Or Facebook. What type of videos do you guys like to watch? Is there specific
Cats,
videos?
right? Cats.
I love dog
Cats.
videos.
Right.
I love watching dog videos.
Yeah. Recipes. How many of you follow recipes?
I
Like
follow
food.
recipes. I love watching people color. Coloring. There's these coloring books that are sold on TikTok Shop, and I just love watching people color. I love ASMR videos. I feel like they're so relaxing. So I was just curious on what type of videos you guys like to watch.
Well, and that's a great question. I think we would challenge you guys to pay attention. What are you watching? What are you scrolling? What are you sharing with your family? My husband and I, we have a DM together. Sometimes in the evening, he'll be on one side of the house putting our puppy to bed, and I'm in bed already, and he sends me a funny video to watch, and then we giggle about it before we go to sleep. So it sounds silly, and we have a lovely marriage. We've been together a long time. So I challenge you guys to pay attention to those things too. Maybe you're part of a book club, and maybe there's someone out there who makes videos reviewing books or has a digital book club that you can join. There's so many options, but pay attention to your own rhythm and your own, patterns in video watching, because you might be surprised.
And you can also curate your own feed. So if you want to see more of it, engage with it. Like it, comment on it, even if it's just an emoji. And you will start to see more of that pop up in your feed.
Yes.
Isn't it nice to end our forum on such a positive note? For once. I want to thank our panel, Lauren Fishback, Niccolo Go, Jennifer Ramirez, Brittany Baca, and of course the illustrious James Ward. Weren't they terrific? Give them a nice applause. Give them a nice hand.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you.
Next month here at Tulare County Voices at 2:10, I think we might attempt a forum on animal control here in our city and county. So, yeah, get here early. That one's going to be crowded. Yeah.
Hey, would you guys like to join us in a TikTok? We would encourage you to join us. We want this to be like a demonstrative forum so that, we all learn together.
All right.
We're just going to do the shimmy. It
All right,
goes like
gang.
this.
Go out there and immortalize
Okay?
yourselves.
That's
all right?
it. For like 10 seconds. 10 seconds. I think maybe just right here.
Wherever you want. You know, the space of the light is probably best up there.
It'll go on our TikTok and our Instagram.
No, I'll let you share. Go ahead.
You just have to wait till the beat starts going.